In Mordheim, Warbands enter the city in search of Wyrdstone, a glowing chunk of rock sent from the heavens, imbued with magical properties, twisting everything around it to its will. These are collected by the desperate and the greedy, attracting many from the Empire who don't mind risking their own lives for a little bit of coin. One such warband is led by a Vampiress, who dominates their kin by making them wear death masks and don her symbol of the Iron Crown. This group comprises of a necromancer, 3 dregs, 2 dire rats, and 6 zombies to symbolize that even in death, there is no escaping her. Another warband lingers in this area, led by a Magister, a dragon priest, dead set to revive the Chaos Dragon of Tzeentch. He's convinced the mysterious Wyrdstone holds the key to this magical secret. He's accompanied by a possessed he's transformed into a half-dragon amalgamation, and 2 mutants where his experiments have been less than successful, and he's summoned 2 death shrouds to puppeteer 2 of his cultists, and 2 brethren awaiting their metamorphosis. These 2 warbands are coming across each other, harvesting some Wyrdstone. The Undead warband is deploying in 2 groups, the dregs, the zombies, and the necromancer, for there is strength in numbers. The Vampiress chose to split off with her 2 rats, for they are faster alone. Similarly, the Cult of the Possessed split off into 2 groups. The Magister told everyone if they find a Wyrdstone to retreat with it, for that is more important than their lives. In the midst of the skeletal remains of the city, 4 shards of Wyrdstone pulse with a sickly emerald glow. From the shadow of the western ruins, the dead emerge, but they aren't alone. Half of the cult spill out onto the street from a tavern, while the Magister takes 2 others to cross the bridge underneath the arches of a ruined fortress. The vampire and her rats move at a terrifying pace. A block away, the air grows thick with the stench of the grave, while the 6 zombies lumber through the streets, the necromancer leading the funeral march as the dregs lag behind. The glimmer of Wyrdstone, drawing both the vampire and the Magister. Momentarily, every eye is fixed solely on the prize, blinding the predator to the prey. The fever of the hunt breaks as the necromancer's gaze falls upon the nightmare that is the half-dragon monstrosity. His heart ricochets inside his rib cage, hoping he wasn't spotted. As the necromancer ducks for cover, the cultists found a Wyrdstone shard across the way in a ruin nearby. One of the cultists scans the ruins as Magister descends the bridge. One slinks off with the shard. The vampire bursts out into the open with her dire rats trailing behind, a Wyrdstone shard in hand as she locks eyes with a cultist's predatory grin on her face. Just then, a heavy setting arises. The zombies march into the open, their dead eyes fixed onto the living. The cult finds themselves caught, surrounded by a hunger that knows no fatigue and a mistress that allows no escape. The necromancer reveals himself as he looses the first bolt. It strikes true, but the half-dragon's hide is a fortress. The arrow glints off. In the frantic exchange, a cultist returns the favor, his shot whistling through the gloom, leaving the dreg cackling in the shadows. A cultist also cackles, with a glintstone shard in his hand. In response, the cultists get into formation, securing the area, getting ready for an attack. With a roar, the dreg flings himself into the fray, seeking to silence the shot. Simultaneously, the street becomes a blur of pale flesh and matted fur as the vampire and her dire rats strike like a coordinated shadow, hitting two separate foes. Above the carnage, the two dregs reach the edge of the platform, their fingers white on the trigger, stilled by the necromancer's raised hand, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash a rain of iron. A dying scream comes from the dark soul as the two dire rats tear him apart, while the vampire finds a worthy distraction as a mutant claws at her with two claws where an arm used to be. The volley is loosed, but the arrows glance off their target. The Magister and two of his cultists decide to throw themselves against the dead. Surprisingly, the zombies do not falter as the Magister fails to cast his spell, but he takes solace that two of his Wyrdstone shards are getting away. Then the plunge of cold steel as the Brethren unsheathes his sword from the dreg. The mutant still locked in combat. The vampire effortlessly threw her to the ground, the first of many to bow to the Iron Crown. The dire rats launch themselves towards the half-dragon as the necromancer hits the Brethren and knocks her to the ground. The rats swarm the beast. Even a god-touched horror can bleed. The cultist strikes back with a vengeance as the half-dragon tears through a zombie, while the Magister and his mutant ally carve another path of their own. A cultist finds her footing as the Magister and his cultists lead a desperate charge to return these zombies to the dirt, taking comfort that their Wyrdstone is getting away. As a mutant knocks down another zombie, the possessed takes on the two dire rats. In one fell swoop, he knocks down both, but they get right back up. In a relentless attack, they hit harder. The vampire ignores the fodder and lances straight for the Magister. The zombies lunge forward, the rot crushing against the cult's dwindling line. The Magister hits the cold stone before he even realizes it. No grand duel, just the crushing weight of the grave as a single nameless zombie snuffs him out. As quickly as it began, the street falls silent. The cult retreats into the fog with two shards, leaving the undead to claim a pair of their own. A hollow victory for both. Yet, the Magister managed to survive. The fire of the cult has been snuffed out, their morale shattered. As they limp into the shadows, they stumble across an overturned cart, a forgotten relic of the city. Within the wreckage, a map of the ruins reveals secrets even the vampires haven't uncovered. Every battle survived is not a battle lost. It's a lesson to be learned. The dreg managed to survive, and the necromancer managed to revive one of the three zombies taken out of action. On their way back to home base, they discovered a fresh corpse and managed to loot 3 gold off of it. Hey, thanks for watching. This video was a lot of work, so I appreciate you guys watching to the end. If you're not subscribed, please do that. Like the video. If you're new to the channel, I have a bunch of videos on how I make all this terrain, so go check that out. All right, have a good one.